The moment I saw her text about the trainer, a chill ran down my spine. She had typed it with that easy enthusiasm I had always admired, the same enthusiasm she once reserved for me. Best workout ever. Can't believe how patient he is. It read. I blinked, stared at the screen, trying to convince myself it was harmless, a casual compliment. But something in her tone, the way her words lingered glowing in my mind, didn't sit right. I had watched her over the years, the way she smiled at him in passing, always polite. Yet, there was something else. A softness almost imperceptible, but enough to make my stomach twist. I tried to dismiss it, reminding myself I was paranoid, overthinking, imagining sparks where there were none. But the seed of doubt had been planted. A week later, in a bout of reckless curiosity, I found myself at the store, picking out a small gift. Nothing extravagant, just a box of chocolates and a card with a casual message of appreciation. My reasoning was convoluted, half guilt, half suspicion, half a desire to test the waters. I would send it to his wife, I told myself, nothing accusatory, just a friendly gesture. Maybe it would make me feel better, maybe it would confirm that my fears were absurd. When the package arrived, I imagined her opening it, the surprise, the fleeting smile. I felt a brief thrill, an imagined moment of moral high ground, as if I were protecting my marriage in some subtle, elegant way. But life, as it often does, has a way of twisting intention into chaos. That night my phone buzzed. A message from his wife. Who sent this? It's strange. The word strange hung there like a guillotine over my chest. I fumbled for a response, words tangling in my throat. I tried to explain it lightly, but the message I sent sounded desperate, awkward. And then silence. Days stretched thin, tension winding tighter in my chest. I watched my wife move through our home like a ghost I barely recognized. She was cheerful, warm, joking as always, but there was a subtle edge I couldn't ignore. Her eyes flicked to my phone sometimes, her expression unreadable. The subtle warning signs began to creep in, almost imperceptibly. Calls that ended abruptly, hushed laughter that stopped when I entered the room. Her phone always just out of reach, screen down, charging always face down. Rationalization warred with suspicion. Maybe it was innocent, I told myself. Maybe I was losing perspective. Yet every little detail gnawed at me, sharpened my anxiety like a blade against bone. A month later, it became impossible to ignore. I had returned home early from work, a rare day off, and found her sitting on the couch scrolling through her phone. I asked a casual question about her day. She flinched, eyes darting, fingers stalling on the screen. My pulse thundered in my ears. Who's that? I asked, nodding toward her phone. Her face went blank for a moment, then tightened into a forced, neutral expression. No one, she said, but her voice was brittle. Something inside me snapped. The air between us thickened, charged with all the unspoken truths and quiet betrayals of the past weeks. I tried to breathe, tried to calm the storm that had been building like a gathering thundercloud. I know something's going on, I said quietly. My hands shook. I wanted confrontation, but I also wanted the truth, unvarnished, raw, whatever it was. She sighed, a long, heavy sound, and looked away. You think I've been unfaithful? I did. I couldn't stop myself. Every instinct, every suspicion, every aching fragment of doubt, screamed yes. Her silence was heavier than any confession could have been. Then she spoke, not looking at me. I didn't mean for it to happen. It just did. My world tilted. The casual warmth, the smiles, the shared life we had built. It all seemed like a fragile mask, now shattered by her words. I wanted to scream, to demand names, details, reasons. Instead, I felt hollow, a void where trust and certainty had once resided. I sent a gift, I whispered, the confession tumbling out without thinking. To his wife. Thought maybe it would, I don't know, make it right. Her gaze snapped to mine then, sharp, hurt, anger flickering across her face. You what? I didn't know, I said, voice low, haunted. I wanted to see, to know if it was real, or if I was imagining things. She leaned back, a slow, weary motion, and for the first time, I saw her fragility, the layers of fear and guilt she carried. You think I'm a monster, she said softly. I don't know what to think, I admitted. The admission tasted bitter in my mouth, raw as metal. All I know is that I don't recognize us anymore. Hours passed in a tense silence. The quiet was almost unbearable. Every tick of the clock, every distant honk outside. A reminder that nothing would ever feel the same. And then finally she spoke the truth in a way that left me reeling. It wasn't serious. It wasn't about him. It was about needing attention, needing to feel wanted. I felt anger, despair, heartbreak, and a strange, unwelcome compassion. Love tangled with betrayal in a knot I couldn't untie. I wanted to hate her, to punish her, to feel the moral victory of righteous outrage, but I couldn't. Weeks later, the chaos had settled into an uneasy truce. The gift, the secrets, the nearly invisible fractures, they lingered, invisible to outsiders but palpable to us. Every glance, every touch, carried the weight of that quiet devastation. Trust, once shattered, cannot be fully reconstructed. It can only be navigated cautiously, a fragile bridge over the abyss of past deceit. I still love her, but differently now. The simplicity of certainty is gone, replaced by the jagged, raw reality of imperfection. And every time I think about the trainer, the gift, the messages, I feel a surge of emotion I cannot name. Pain, yes, but also a strange, bitter understanding. Betrayal doesn't only break bonds. It exposes the vulnerability beneath, the human longing that can lead even the best of us astray. And in that I see a truth that stings. Love and betrayal are not opposites, they are entwined. A dangerous dance where even the most cautious steps can lead to devastation.